Tip number 1. How can you make the most amount of money with the Cayo Perico heist? The best target to get is the pink diamond for $1.3 million. Right below, we got the bearer bonds for 770k, then we got the ruby necklace for 700k, and then the worst possible loot that you can get is the tequila for 630k. But in some rare event weeks, you can also get the Panther statue, which will be worth $1.9 million, which is an insane amount of money. Now, if you were wondering what the percentages are of getting the primary targets, you can see them right over here, where the tequila is a 60% chance of getting it, and the pink diamond only a 10% chance. However, if you don't play the heist for 72 hours, there will be a 0% chance to get the tequila in the Cayo Perico heist. However, I still recommend you to not wait for this, as waiting for 3 days IRL just to skip the tequila is definitely not worth it. Now, when you start with the gather intel mission, normally when you spawn in, the very first bike that you take is right in front of you at this place, but sometimes it can happen that you can get detected. If that is the case, there is actually a backup bike right over here where you can also run into this guard as he is completely friendly, and then take this bike to go towards the communication tower again. However, if you somehow still get spotted for a third time, there is actually a third bike location, which is right at this place on your map, close towards this camera, where you will see the third bike that you can take in case you get spotted again. Do be careful when you are driving with your bike, because if you are too close to one of the other guards, they will hear the engine sound of your bike and get you spotted, which will put you right back at the start. And when you are going towards the communication tower, make sure to jump over this mountain to make it a lot easier and skip all of the other guards. Now, something that a lot of people not know is that you can actually get $1.4 million for completely free in the Cayo Perico heist. You can do this by completing all of the achievements which are right over here. Most of them you will complete automatically, like for example completing the elite challenge, completing it with 4 players solo, completing it for the first time. There are many ways to make money with this, so definitely make sure to check them out. But now, when you're eventually going to collect the primary target, you will have to cut through this glass in order to collect it. What is actually the fastest way to cut through the glass? Here are the 3 most used methods where you will see which one is the fastest. But before we even go towards this place, we might have to cut open the gate in order to enter the compound. Here's a comparison video how you can do this the fastest way possible. In the Cayo Perico heist, when you are at the beach party, all the way in the back you will find a sculpture of the Loch Ness monster, because there is actually a Loch Ness monster in the water, which is pretty rare to spawn. But if you did ever find this, let me know in the comments down below. One of the spawn locations that you can choose when you're for example doing it with the longfin approach is at the North Dock, where you can then actually open one of the secondary target locations as a completely solo player, where you would normally need a total of 2 players. You can simply pull this lever, where this door will then open, and for some reason it will actually stay open for the entire time, so you can easily go inside of this place and collect everything, where normally if you would set your spawn location at something else and go towards the main dock after, the door would immediately close after you stop pulling the lever. Now, when you are at the lockup, for every storage that requires 2 players in order to open it, there is a 60% chance for the white stuff to spawn in. This is one of the locations that I'm showing you right now, where there's for example also one at the main dock. Now, if you want to scope out every single secondary spot, you can see them right over here, where I've scoped out literally every single spot. If you want to see how you can exactly do that yourself as well, here's how you can do that. When you're trying to leave the Cayo Perico island, make sure that you always land on your wheels, because if you do not do that, like in this clip, you will end up taking damage and lose a bit of your loot, which is just a little bit of a waste of money. When you are at the drainage tunnel, right in front of it, you will see some dead bodies laying around, like for example in this car, and also underground. When you're doing the Cayo Perico setups, make sure to buy the Sparrow, which you can get inside of the war stock in the Moonpool vehicles, where you can buy it for around 1 $1.5 million. When you eventually bought it, you can enter this vehicle and modify it right at this place, where I recommend you to put the mounted homing missiles on it, as you will have unlimited missiles when you're doing the Cayo Perico setups. Now when you're doing the Cayo Perico get the intel mission, be careful when you're close towards this place, as you do not want to blow the Vellum up. If you shoot one bullet, the Vellum will be completely fine, but if the Vellum takes 2 or more bullets, it will start smoking and eventually give up. Now when you are doing this mission, I always recommend you to do this in a private session, because there is literally no benefit of doing this in a public lobby. And now when you are flying, immediately retract your wheels as soon as it is possible, as your Vellum will fly faster. And when you are flying, make sure that you stay above 900 feet, as this will be the fastest speed you can get with the Vellum. Now when you're at the communication tower, if there is no guard at the bottom, it means that the signal box is at the bottom, which you can immediately hack. Otherwise you will have to climb up the ladder. But when you are eventually at the signal box, you will have to complete a simple hack where you have to match the numbers that are on the left side with the target on the top. The X symbol on the right will multiply the number times 10. The second icon will multiply it times 2. And the last icon will multiply it times 1. When you are scoping out the Cayo Perico solo, you only need to check the primary target, and after that the paintings that are in the office. And if you didn't know yet, the best possible loot that you can get is gold, which will pay you the most amount of money. Next to that you have the white stuff, then the green stuff, after that paintings, and the worst possible loot that you can get is cash. Now in order to fill up your loot bags with gold, you need 1.5 stacks to fill this up all the way, 2 stacks for the white stuff, 2.7 for the green stuff, 2 paintings, and for cash you will need a total of 4 stacks. Now when you are doing the prep missions, you actually don't need to do every single mission. For the approach vehicle, you only have to complete 1 mission. For the equipment, you only have to complete a total of 3 missions, where you can always skip the demolition charges. Then for the weapon loadout, you need to complete only 1 mission of that. And then the disruption part, you can completely skip, as it isn't necessary at all. Now right over here you do see that I have every disruption completed, because there is actually a trick if you do want to do them, how you can do this a really fast way. The way you do that is by simply starting one of the disruption missions like the weapons, where you then immediately want to open up your settings, go towards find new session, and make sure that you put your spawn location at your Kosetka, because now when you go back towards the planning screen and towards disruption, you will see that the weapons disruption mission is instantly completed, where you exactly did nothing at all. And you can do this literally for all the other missions as well. So if you were planning on doing the disruption mission, simply join a new session after you've started it, and you will see that it is completed, which is an insane trick that will save you a lot of time. Now when you are collecting loot inside of the compound, normally you would just keep clicking until you collected all of the loot, but there is actually a trick where you can open up your pause menu, and in the background you will see that your character will still be continuing to collect the loot. This is a simple trick that you can use for every single one of them to make it a little bit easier. Now when you are doing the fingerprint hack mission, when you go inside of this building, Pavel will talk at this place for a pretty long time, but if you call agent a couple of times, you can actually skip this dialogue and make this a lot quicker. When you're doing the plasma cutter mission and enter the safe house, immediately take out your phone, take a picture and spam by sending it to Pavel, where you then only need to walk a bit forward and back now, where you completed this the fastest way possible. Now for the approach vehicles, there are a total of 6 options that you can choose from. I will show you the 2 most popular setups that people choose, where the very first one is the long fin approach. By default, GTA will provide some cars that you can take in order to get towards the location, but if you are close towards one of these 3 spots right now, there will be actually a phantom wedge that you can collect, where you only need to take down a couple of guards in order to collect a phantom wedge, which you can then use to collect the long fin. What's even better is if you own the phantom wedge yourself, you can call this from your interaction menu and then collect the long fin yourself. And before collecting the long fin, always make sure to mark this location, as this will be the place where you need to go to every single time. Now in this case I ended up dying while I was collecting the truck, but there is a trick where you can actually duck while you are driving to avoid most of the bullets. And now when you bring the Langfang back towards the location marked on your map, drive right through this gate to make it a bit quicker, and if you still have the cops behind you, you can either choose to hide behind this building or blow yourself up, where you can then immediately go towards the Langfang again and complete this mission. Now for the Kosetka mission, it is actually completely different. When you do the Kosetka approach, you want to go towards this place and fast travel towards the closest location, where you then want to drive the Kosetka towards this place, and then when you are close towards the Ramius, go a bit down and stop right above it, where you then want to go all the way towards this back and go down the ladder, where at this place you will be able to enter your Kosetka from the bottom part. Now the only thing that's left to do is go in the other submarine, but over here we will have to collect the sonar jammer, where there are actually a total of 3 spawn locations. The very first one is right over here, where it could be laying on this place. If you do not see it, make sure to kill all of the other guards that are around you, because the second spot where you can get it is on top of this box, which ended up being the location for me. However, if you still don't have it, go up the stairs, where you will then be in the planning room, where you will find the third and last location for the sonar jammer on top of the planning screen. And now when you collected it, the only thing that's left to do is simply go back again and swim back from the bottom of your Kosetka, where you've then completed the Kosetka approach the easiest way possible. If you are doing another mission and your Kosetka is far away from you, you can simply open up your interaction menu and call your Kosetka towards your location. When you're doing these setups with another player, the best thing to do is go towards the Vespucci beach and drive with your Kosetka all the way towards the beach, so you can complete the setup missions a bit quicker. Now when you are going back towards your Kosetka, make sure that you park your Oppressor Mark II diagonal, as if you don't do this, there is a bigger chance that it will fall off, whereas you can see it right now, it is completely stable. Did you know you can actually poison the guards in the Cayo Perico heist, where you first have to go towards a spot to pick up the powder, and then the only thing that you need to do is contaminate one of the island's water supplies, where he will throw this inside of the water, where the guards will be weakened, which is a fun trick to use. Now inside of your Kosetka, you will sometimes see Pavel right over here, where you can actually fill up your snacks. Plus you can also pick up a Molotov cocktail on the table, which you normally cannot buy from the ammunition, but at this place you can collect it for exactly nothing. If you are at the airstrip and pull these 2 levers down, all the cameras will be down inside of the compound, where you will be safely able to walk through them. Normally when you would fast travel, it would cost you $10,000, but after you've completed the heist the very first time, it will only cost you $2,000 forever. When you are doing the safe code mission, make sure that you park your Oppressor Mark II right at this place, and now enter the casino, where you actually want to pay attention to the room number, because if you have the room number 505, the location where the guard will be right at this place, where you can simply then take him down. If you have room number 518, he will be all the way in the back, where you can then take him down at this place. And if you have room number 512, this will be the closest location, as it will be immediately on the right side. And now the only thing that you want to do is leave this place, go towards this place, where you can then exit the casino and immediately hop onto your Oppressor Mark II and leave this place. When you're doing the cutting torch prep, by far the easiest way to do this in stealth mode is by simply going right over here, where you will see this yellow helmet, and once you equip this, you will be able to run through every single guard's vision without getting spotted. Make sure that you just don't bump into them, as this still can get you spotted. Now when you are doing the weapon loadout mission, I recommend you to get either the aggressor loadout or the conspirator. With the aggressor loadout, you will be easily able to take down the Juggernaut, but doing this setup mission itself can take you a long time. However, if you're doing this with another friend, make sure that he is on top of this building where the Meriwether HQ can start, and the only thing that he needs to do is use, for example, his Oppressor Mark II or any explosive vehicles or weapons that he owns, and simply blow it up. Now you will see that the mission has failed, where you can then immediately restart the mission again, and you can keep trying this until you get the correct location, which is at either one of these buildings. For solo players, you can also use your guided missiles if you go towards this seat over here, which you do need to purchase separately, but you have a total of 2 seats where you will be able to launch a rocket right at the helicopter. Or if you're solo in a session, you can also decide to open up your settings menu, go towards new session, and start it back again. Now when you are doing the weapon loadout mission, always make sure to land on top of the roof, as if you go towards the bottom, you will get spotted immediately, where when you go on the roof, you'll be able to do this in complete stealth mode. The only thing that you need to do inside of this place is first shoot this door, then you can take down this guard that is right behind it, where you will then need to take down these two guards as well, and a final guard that is standing behind the desk, where you can then open the gun locker. But before you can actually access this, you need to do a hack that is right at this laptop. The easiest way I found to do this hack is by simply looking at the first number, which in my case is the number 4, and look for it on the left side, where I was able to complete this pretty quickly. Now for the weapon loadout, you actually never want to buy these suppressors, as this will cost you $5,000, but this will be automatically equipped inside of the heist itself. Plus, when you are starting with this heist, you also never need to equip it manually. It will be done completely automatic. Now there are actually some special guns that you can collect in the Cayo Perico heist. There will be a guard sometimes laying around in the Cayo Perico island with a blue dot on top of it. You only have to go one time towards him, where you will be able to collect a keycard from him, which you then can use in the final heist by going up in the office, and right at this drawer you will be able to open it and unlock the Perico pistol, which is a rare pistol that you can only get right at this place. There is also another gun that you can get, which is the combat shotgun. It will be laying around in the Cayo Perico island, which has many spawn locations. So if you do see it one time, make sure to collect it and you will own this forever now. When you are doing the Cayo Perico heist, I recommend you to take only a total of 4 guards down, as these guards can give you the gate key with the least amount of work that you have to do. The biggest problem is of course the Juggernaut. If you want to know the exact route that the Juggernaut always walks, you can see that right over here. By far the easiest way to take down the Juggernaut is by taking out your grenade, smack him to the ground, and then simply shoot him with your shotgun, where he will die pretty easily. Another easy way where you can take him down if you have the assault shotgun is just by shooting at him, where he will also die pretty quickly. But if you don't have this loadout, you can also run into him, where he will then fall underground, where you can also decide to take him down. Now there are only a certain amount of guards that can drop you the gate key, where the first 2 are right at this place. Next up you have this guard, where I recommend you to take down the camera first and then the guard right after. Do keep in mind, if you do take down this guard, you also have to take down the Juggernaut later or right now. Then the next guard that can drop you the gate key is right over here, and then there are only 2 guards left that can drop you it, which is this guard right over here and the one that is all the way up the stairs. Now if you want to know which guards exactly can drop you the key cards, so you and your duo can collect the secondary loot, the very first guard that can drop it to you is right at this place, where I do recommend you also to take down the camera. In my case, I immediately ended up getting it from him. Then next up, there's a guard on the left side which can also drop you the gate keys. Right at the start, there is this guard which is standing at this place. Then we have this guard that keeps walking back and forth. All the way on the left side, there is a duo which can also drop it. Now there is also this guard which can drop you the key cards. However, you cannot kill him right at this spot, as when you collect the primary loot, there will be a new spawn of guards walking at this location which will spot his body. So you need to make sure that you kill him right in the middle of it, so they won't be able to spot him. And when that has happened, he can also drop you the key cards. Now if you still haven't got it, there is one final location where you can get the key cards, which is from one of these 2 guards. In order to fill up your loot packs all the way, you have to collect a total of 1.5 stacks of gold. But did you actually know, when you collect the gold and leave just a bit at the end, you can actually sneak in 1 pile of cash and then go back towards the gold loot location again and collect all of the gold, which will give you some extra money. Doing the fingerprint hack in the office is actually the worst way to do it, as you will have to do a total of 3 fingerprint hacks or 4 on hard mode, where if you would just go towards the basement, you only have to do 1 single fingerprint hack on normal mode or 2 fingerprint hacks on hard mode. If you killed every single guard inside of the compound, you can actually throw as many grenades and make as much noise as you can, as literally no one will be able to hear you and get you detected, as the cameras that are still alive won't be able to pick up any sound cues. When you're leaving the basement, if the Juggernaut or any other guards are on the right side, you can simply go towards this wall and jump right over this place to make it a bit quicker. When you're outside of the compound and are going inside of the area where there are a lot of guards, a great way to stay stay hidden is by getting the guard disguises, as you can then safely run inside of their visions. Now when you've completed the Cayo Perico heist, if you do this as a solo player, there is a 2-hour and 24-minute cooldown, which is pretty long. However, if you do this with a duo or more players, it will only be a total of 48 minutes before you can start the heist again. But if you are doing it solo, there is a way how you can immediately start it again, which is by swapping your character and doing the Cayo Perico heist at your new character. When you are leaving the compound and still need to collect your cash at, for example, the main dock or the north dock, make sure to always go on top of this bike and take down this guard, as he will eventually spot the dead bodies from the guards that we just killed. But if you do get caught at this place, you will still complete the elite challenge, as in order to complete the elite challenge, you have to not get spotted inside of the compound or before that, no failed hacks, and complete it within 15 minutes to get an extra $50,000 on normal mode or $100,000 on hard mode. But now when you're leaving the island, if you're doing this with a total of 4 players, make sure to take this bike, take down the guards that are after him, as there are actually a total of 4 bikes that everyone can take. The second bike that is available is right at this place. The third bike is on the left side right next to this building, and then the final bike that you can take is right behind this building, so you and your teammates can escape really quickly. When you are trying to leave the Cayo Perico island the quickest way possible, go towards this direction, as you can go off this cliff really all the way towards the end, where you will escape the Cayo Perico island the quickest way possible if you swim towards this triangle of the 3 bombs. Now inside of the Cayo Perico heist, you can actually not destroy only 1 camera, not 2 cameras, not 3, not 4, but actually 5 cameras, where you will then hear Pavel say this.
Careful. If the guard lose too many CCTV cameras, they will become suspicious. If you want to avoid this, I would leave them alone from now.
Now previously I mentioned that there are a total of 6 vehicle approaches that you can choose if you want to know which are the best ones for the Cayo Perico heist and make you the most amount of money. Check out this video where I've shown you exactly which is the best option for you.